Side of toast. The Denny's Grand Slam, as Lincoln called it. Then President Trump took to the podium, immediately predicted a bright future for his administration.
America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back. Our pride is back. Our confidence is back.
If they didn't sit down, and ultimately Johnson called in the sergeant-at-arms to remove 77-year-old Texas Congressman Al Green.
Donald Trump had just finished another combative rally where he repeated his usual lines about rigged elections, massive crowds, and how the media was the enemy of the people. But this time, something different was brewing. While he was on stage basking in the applause, a completely different storm was erupting on late-night television. Stephen Colbert, never one to hold back, had gone off script during his monologue. In a segment that would immediately go viral, Colbert exposed what he called Trump's biggest lie, a claim the former president had repeated for years without consequence. But tonight, live on national TV, the lie was broken down, dismantled, and backed up by receipts that had Trump's team scrambling before the segment even ended. If you're tired of the filtered headlines and want every jaw-dropping moment, every meltdown, and every clapback, follow us now, because this is only getting bigger. It wasn't just a joke or an impression. Colbert's delivery was sharp, surgical. He began by airing a supercut of Trump over the past decade, claiming he turned down billions of dollars to serve the American people. Over and over, Trump had insisted that becoming president had cost him a fortune, that he was selfless, that he didn't profit. Colbert smirked, raised an eyebrow, and calmly said, "Well, that's not exactly true, and we finally have the numbers." What followed was a masterclass in televised takedowns.
And I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do.
Oh, I don't know. Try saying, "I resign." Just minutes into the speech, all hell broke loose. Democrats stood up, started booing. Speaker Mike Johnson threatened them with expulsion. Now, some people have questioned why so much muscle was needed to remove one old man with a cane. But it turns out it was for a serious reason. When security searched him, they found that he had smuggled in a spine. After the interruption, Trump whined about the opposition.
Once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me.
Colbert rolled out documents, tax filings, property reports, legal depositions, showing that far from losing money, Trump's businesses had actually spiked in valuation during and immediately after his presidency. Colbert cited a financial audit that revealed inflated brand licensing fees, secret payments from foreign interests funneled through shell companies, and detailed how a luxury hotel in Washington saw record bookings from lobbyists and foreign diplomats during his time in office. The audience gasped, laughed, then fell silent when Colbert played a leaked phone call, previously buried under court proceedings, in which one of Trump's own former CFOs admitted offhandedly that the presidency opened every door we needed open. The call wasn't supposed to air publicly, but now it had, and Trump was watching. Insiders close to Trump say he exploded when the segment aired. First came the frantic phone calls, to aides, to his legal team, to allies in the conservative media world. "How the hell did Colbert get that call?" he reportedly yelled. "Why wasn't this buried?" He took to Truth Social within minutes, furiously typing out a post that called Colbert a third-rate clown and threatened lawsuits for defamation and treason. Yes, he used the word treason over a late-night comedy monologue, but the damage was done. Within an hour, hashtags like #Trump lied and #Colbert receipts were trending. Major networks replayed the clip. Cable news analysts, even some from conservative outlets, were forced to admit the documents looked legitimate. Trump's base rallied to his defense, but the cracks were showing. Fox News mostly ignored the segment, but fringe right-wing blogs tried to spin it as edited propaganda, even though Colbert's team had already released the full raw clips online to preempt that narrative. The bigger issue was that this lie, the one about Trump losing billions, wasn't just about money. It had become part of his mythos. It painted him as the reluctant hero who gave up luxury for love of country. Now, the image was shattered. And it was done not by a politician, not by a prosecutor, but by a comedian with a research team and a primetime slot. As the fallout continued, Colbert became a folk hero overnight for many who had long wanted someone to punch back with evidence. Journalists applauded the segment, noting that Colbert had done what mainstream news hesitated to do: directly call Trump's bluff. Memes flooded social media. One showed Trump screaming while Colbert calmly sipped tea. Another mashed up Colbert's clip with the Mission Impossible theme, labeling it Operation Truth Drop. Behind closed doors, Trump's advisors were split. Some wanted to ignore the segment entirely, warning that more attention would only boost Colbert's ratings. Others urged Trump to hit back hard, threaten CBS, go on a media blitz, claim doctored files. Trump, of course, chose the latter. The next morning, he called into a far-right podcast and ranted for 20 minutes, calling Colbert a disgrace to late-night television and accusing CBS of colluding with the deep state. But his voice cracked during the call. At one point, when the host asked if Trump had ever personally seen the documents Colbert aired, Trump dodged the question and pivoted to Hunter Biden. It didn't go unnoticed. The internet immediately clipped the moment. Commentators pointed out that Trump, usually brash and defiant, was clearly rattled. What made this even more painful for Trump was who delivered the blow. Colbert, unlike some of the more aggressive late-night personalities, had a more cerebral reputation. He joked with a smile, with facts. This wasn't a roast. It was a cold, methodical dissection, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Trump was gearing up for another campaign push, hoping to rally donors and independent voters with the same message: "I sacrificed for you." That line wouldn't hit the same after Colbert's takedown. Donors were uneasy. Several corporate PACs quietly paused contributions. A few Republican strategists began asking if it was time to pivot away from the "poor me" narrative Trump had built around his wealth. The lie had been told too often, and now it was unraveling in spectacular fashion. The irony was brutal. Trump, who had always branded himself as the king of media manipulation, had been undone by a man who pretends to be a pundit for laughs. Colbert didn't scream, didn't insult. He just presented facts with a smirk. That contrast hit hard. It made Trump's reaction seem even more unhinged by comparison. By the end of the week, late-night hosts across the board joined in. Jimmy Kimmel joked that Trump probably thinks defamation is a fancy word for haircut. Seth Meyers ran a special called "The Lie Heard Round the World," replaying Colbert's segment and mocking Trump's meltdown in real time. But while the jokes flew, the seriousness of the situation was not lost. Legal experts began re-examining the financial documents Colbert had shown, wondering if they could become evidence in ongoing investigations into Trump's business dealings. Some suggested that Colbert may have gotten the materials from a whistleblower. Others speculated that former Trump insiders were now leaking to media instead of prosecutors, hoping the public would do the rest. As for Colbert, he ended that explosive night's show not with a punchline, but with a simple statement: "The truth isn't political, it's just the truth." The audience gave him a standing ovation. Trump, meanwhile, reportedly spent the next several nights rage-watching replays of the clip, calling for firings inside his media circle and threatening to sue CBS, Colbert, and anyone who thinks they're funny. But this wasn't just about humor anymore. This was about accountability, and this time, Trump couldn't laugh it off.